Second half of the season starts at the Saddle Dome with the Battle of Alberta. We get you set for the Oilers and the Flames on the Oil Stream Pregame Show. Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Pregame Show right here on Edmonton Sports Talk. If you're listening on TuneIn, thank you. If you're listening to our audio stream on EdmontonSportsTalk.com, thank you. If you're watching on the EST YouTube channel, thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Tom Gazzola, YouTube Trev with you. Jason Strudwick in for Matt Cassian. Today he will join us for Game Changers a little bit later on in the show. We'll also catch up with one Patrick Bartholomew Steinberg from Sportsnet 960, The Fan, our good buddy Pat Steinberg. He has his pregame show. They're only doing an hour, so he gets going at 7. We'll catch up with him in about 7 minutes time. Also, you could text us 780-218-9999 or hit us up on the nasty chat if you're watching on the YouTube channel. Let's go, man. Let's go. I'm feeling good about tonight. There's like a good energy going into this game. The Oilers looking for 13 straight. The Flames had just lost to the Toronto Maple Leafs on Thursday 4-3, but they're playing better. Jonathan Huberdeau is a factor all of a sudden in a good way. Man, like this feels like a good night in Alberta. It is Hockey Day in Canada. It is Minor Hockey Week in Edmonton. So many things to build up this energy, and it all gets released tonight at the Saddle Dome and for the most part across our fine province tonight. Join the conversation. We highly encourage you to. And I'll throw out the question of the night right away. I want to hear some vivid memories that you might have of Battle of Albertas from yesteryear or recently. I don't care. I want to know, what's your favorite Battle of Alberta moment of all time? 780-218-9999 or get at us in the nasty chat. What is your favorite Battle of Alberta moment of all time? Let's bring in the kid, YouTube Trev, who grew up in Flames territory.
Oh, God.
Cheering for the Edmonton Oilers, but as an esteemed member of the media, a new one, he has taken off his cap that says Oilers for tonight.
Yep.
He doesn't own a Calgary Flames cap at all.
Never.
And he is going to share his favorite Battle of Alberta moment of all time. Yes, Trevor. Bring yourself up on camera.
Oh, okay. Yeah, let's do that.
Come on
let's
now.
do that.
We know people want to see you. Look at that
give this a
formidable
go.
mustache.
Hey,
there he is. There's that guy that does that
everyone.
thing.
Yeah, that's me.
Hey, oh, wait.
Oh, Tommy, what a great question. There's so many ways you can look at this question. Honestly, I've got I got two. Can I quickly say two?
Yeah,
okay,
sure.
So the first one I think was it was one of the best Battle of Alberta games I've ever seen. I forget the score, but it was a high-scoring one. The Oilers ended up eventually winning, and all I have to say is Mike Smith, Cam Talbot, center ice. I mean, it doesn't get any better than that. I remember, I get off my feet quite a bit, and I'm like, yeah, let's go. But that, I was dancing, I was jumping. It was such a great night. I was watching it with some buds, and like you said, I'm kind of in enemy territory in southern Alberta, so a lot of bragging rights for that one, and just everything about it. Gaetan Haas with the nice with the nice penalty shot.
Nice guy.
Yeah. He got that near the end, and the Oilers eventually won that one. It was a very satisfying win. And the game prior to that was when Big Save Dave, they call him, David Riddick. I forget, it was against Leon Draisaitl. Yeah, it was in that one went to a shootout. And Leon Draisaitl, he poke-checked him, lifts his stick up, and then the next game, that's what happened. It was super satisfying to see. And then, It's the cherry on top, Tommy. I waited my whole life to see the Oilers and Flames in the playoffs, and it was just that whole series. It was the first game. I mean, they couldn't have started any worse. It was terrible. I think the Flames scored on their 2 first shots against Smith in the opening 3 minutes. It was bad. You could hear a pin drop.
I was there.
Yeah. Well, I guess you couldn't hear a pin drop, but for Oilers fans, you were like, what just happened, right? So that was insane. But I just remember, and it was in particular, Connor, just that whole playoffs was probably the best I've ever seen anyone play. But, it wasn't just him. Leon Draisaitl, he actually had more points than Connor in that series, and it was 18 points in 5 games. And I remember it was 18 points. It was 18 points in 5 games, and he had Yeah, I'm just looking at it here because I had to double check. Oh yeah, 2 goals and 15 assists. So, but it says 18, so that doesn't really make sense. So 70 points. So 17 points. But Leon Draisaitl, it was my favorite goal in Game 2. There's so many good goals about that. But that series was just unreal. The Oilers did it in 5. It was just incredible. So for me personally, that was just unreal. There's so much to like about that series. The OT winner, everything. So yeah, that's my answer, Tommy. I loved it.
Well done, YouTube, Trev. YTT, as they're calling you. I like how this has taken on a new life of its own, for sure, thanks to our EST glue guy, Jay Milne. A couple of texts agreeing with you. Yeg Sparky says, best Flames Oilers was the Talbot-Mike Smith fight game. Dr. Gonzo says the same thing. T. Willison says the same thing. Reaper says goalie fight. Maverick says Turtle Chuck. Good one. Reaper also says Struddy rejects the Flames. And I loved the Heritage Classic. That was amazing, but different, right? Like different. Cool one-off. The first game of the 2010-11 season, Eberle's goal, the Oilers winning, the McIntyre-Evanons fight. What a vibe in the building that night. What a vibe. And that was my first game regular season as host of Oilers TV. That one was crazy. And then in the 90s, there were some good moments. Early 2000s, Iginla, Conroy, the Flames usually got the better of the Oilers, so nothing great. And then I'm sure that there's some older Oiler fans out there that would vividly recall Gretzky in overtime, shorthanded in 88 at the Saddle Dome, the slapper, the perfect shot, and then many, many others. So share yours. What is your favorite memory all time of the Battle of Alberta? All right, Patty Steinberg is going to join us right away. Here are the lineups we're anticipating for tonight. It will be McDavid with Nugent Hopkins and Hyman. Draisaitl between Kane and Fogel. McLeod between Janmark and Ryan. Holloway with Gagne and Brown. Nurse paired up with CC. Ekholm with Bouchard. Kulak with Desharnais. Do I have to give you a contact? Did I screw that up? I'm sorry, pal. Who did I send you? Did I send you Struddies again? Oh, I'm sorry. We'll get Pat Steinberg here. I'll share that with you. Tell me if you got it. There you go. There you go, Trevor. Holloway making his return with Gagne and Brown. Nurse paired up with CC. Ekholm with Bouchard. Kulak with Desharnais. Out for the Oil, Adam Ernie and Phil Kemp. As for the Calgary Flames, you're going to see Elias Lindholm between Jonathan Huberdeau and Yegor Sharangovich. Nazem Kadri between Connor Zary, who's been a great boost for this Flames team. Great pick for the Flames and developed him nicely. Matt Coronado on the other side of Kadri. Then you got Michael Backlund between Andrew Mangiapane and Blake Coleman. Adam Ruzicka with AJ Greer and Adam Klapka making his NHL debut. We'll probably hear from Klapka later on in the program. Mackenzie Weegar paired up with Rasmus Anderson, Noah Hannafin with Chris Tanev, Jordan Osterley, the former Oiler, with Dennis Gilbert out for the Flames, Jacob Markstrom, day-to-day lower body, Martin Pospisil, day-to-day upper body. Starting goalies, 25-year-old Stuart Skinner, 29-1 on the season, 258 goals against average, 904 save percentage, and 2 shutouts in 31 games this season versus Calgary lifetime Skinner, a 3-0 record, 131 goals against average, 966 save percentage in the 4 appearances he's had versus the Flames. And at the other end of the rink, it is 26-year-old Dan Vladar, 7-6-2 on the season, 335 goals against average, 884 save percentage in 15 games this year. Vladar versus Edmonton, 1-0, 3.0 goals against average, 897 save percentage in his lone appearance versus the Oilers. There are your starting lineups. Pat Steinberg, ready to rock from Sportsnet 960, The Fan. Patty, great to hear from you. Thank you so much for being on the show. You and I only get to do this. Well, this is only like our second or third time sharing the airwaves together.
I know.
Right?
Yeah, it's good. I like it.
Well, now that network that shall not be named is not the one that employs me, this is a thing. This is a thing. They can see the love and admiration that you and I have for one another.
Yeah, and then Justin Nielsen allowed me to be part of AM Nasty on Friday. Like, I feel like everything's coming up pat these days.
as it should. You are a lovely human being, and you deserve nothing but good things and splendor and all that good stuff. All right, Patty. I know you got to get to your show, so we're going to keep it short, sweet, to the point, and we're only bringing the good stuff, cutting off the fat. So Flames rattled off 7 wins in the last 10. What elements of Calgary's game has really come alive of late, Pat?
Well, they're starting better. That would be the number one thing. They were so bad not even bad to start, but they were so often allowing the first goal. And so they've been starting games significantly better. That's huge. Their goaltending over the last month has been unreal. Now, no Jacob Markstrom tonight. He's close, but he's going to be the number 3 tonight and sit in the press box. You mentioned Dan Vladar gets the start, but Markstrom has been elite since he returned after missing 2 weeks with a broken finger. And then they're starting to get more from the players they needed from. So Jonathan Huberdeau has been significantly better. And over the last, 3 weeks, has played by far the best he's played as a member of the Flames. Is it, 115 points good? No, but he's at a point per game clip in his last 10, 11 games, which is the best we've seen from him since joining the Flames. And Andrew Mangiapane's game has really come back to where it needs to. And then you've also got Yegor Sharangovich and Blake Coleman, who continue to be really consistent offensive performers. So those would be the things that I think have really taken the biggest step here over the last number of weeks and allowed the Flames to win 7 of their last 10. But, they learned a pretty painful lesson on Thursday against Toronto. If you have lapses and if you take, I'm trying to think of the right term. If you let your details slip for even a few minutes and you've got the elite offensive players on the other side, like they might just happen to be facing tonight against Edmonton, a game can flip in a heartbeat. So that was what ended their winning streak at 4 on Thursday. So I'm curious what they've got tonight against this rolling Oilers team.
Pat, it feels like a lot of good energy going into this game. I'm feeling it, man. Like, it's the dog days of the season. It's deathly cold in our province. And I'm like, yeah, let's go. This is going to be a big one. I want to ask you about Connor Zary. Speaking of young guys, because we're going to see Dylan Holloway come back. But Connor Zary seems to have made a pretty big impact as a up-and-coming prospect. Give us the scoop on how Zary's been able to do this in the 35 games he's played.
It's been remarkable, to be perfectly honest, what this guy's been able to do, because they brought him up on November 1st, and for a guy who had never played an NHL game, and for a guy who had put up good numbers, don't get me wrong, good numbers in the American League, but It's not like he was putting up incredible AHL numbers. He has, I would say he's one of 3 players primarily responsible for kind of transforming Calgary's offense from one that was quite pedestrian to, I'm not saying that they're one of the highest octane offenses in the NHL, but for the first time in a long time, they look like an offense that's got something and can be a little bit more dangerous than we've seen. And Zary did that right from the get-go. He came up with confidence. He came up with 2 years in the American League under his belt, and he's really used that confidence to his utmost. I've been really impressed, and honestly, I don't think anybody here saw it coming to this extent. I think we knew that Zary was a good prospect. I think we knew that Zary had high potential. But for him to come in, and again, we're not talking about him being point per game in his tenure here,
right? But
he's really given this team something they didn't have, and that's creativity. That's a guy that can sometimes make something out of nothing and really give the offense some pace in the way they play. So it's probably the most positive kind of rookie story the Flames have had in quite some time when talking about a guy who has been able to just jump into the lineup and make an immediate impact. He's been really strong, and you take a look at some of the metrics from around the league, puts him in the Calder Trophy conversation, and it's been a really nice, and more than anything else, Tommy, it's been a really surprising story up here or down here.
Hey, he busts his ass, man. He busts his ass, and 22 points in 35 games. Plus 14. I think that's second on the Flames if you're into plus minus. But I think it's telling. So Connor Zary having an impact for sure with this Flames team. It is Pat Steinberg from Sportsnet 960 down in Calgary getting us set for the Oilers and the Flames. Hey, Patty, the Flames are right back in the mix in the Pacific Division and hunting down a wild card spot as well in the West. But there are some rumors swirling about potential trades. So with some of the names, we've heard even Markstrom's name being thrown out there, Hanifin, even Lindholm, and I know Tanev's name's been out there. Like, how does Craig Conroy go about trying to make it work for the team long-term, all the while trying to chase down a playoff spot this year?
I think the best word to use for that is pragmatically. I think that there's a real understanding that as much as the Flames have, not to the same extent as the team you cover, but similar-ish to the Oilers, have got themselves back into the mix. The Flames haven't gone 20 for 23, but they have been able to work themselves back into the mix and make it so that with this group, the playoffs aren't a pipe dream.
Right.
So they deserve some credit for that, but I think there's an understanding that even despite that, this is not a group that they would say, yep, this is it. This is the group that, we're going to go and compete for a Stanley Cup with. So I think management looks at it with that frame of mind and says, okay, are we really going to be able to sign Elias Lindholm to an 8-year deal at like 9 or 8.5 a year, and Noah Hanifin to an 8-year deal at like 7 or 7.5 a year, and give Chris Tanev 4 more years, which is probably what it's going to take for all 3 of these guys. And as much as they might come March 8th be right there in the playoff mix and fighting for a division spot, it's kind of one of those things where they've got to make the hard decision or the difficult decision. And yeah, we're still going to move these guys. And Craig Conroy was adamant from his introductory news conference that he was not going to let Johnny Gaudreau happen again, right, and not let a guy that important walk to free agency. So I can tell you, as well as the team has played, and as well as the team may be playing in a month and a half's time, if Lindholm's not signed, he's getting traded. If Tanev's not signed, he's the only one that I think they might be okay going through the deadline with, but I still think he's getting traded. And 100%, if Hanifin's unsigned, I think he's getting dealt. So, it's been the overarching topic that has hung over this season, because you're like, all right, they're playing poorly, and now they're playing better, and now they're back in the playoff mix. And it's like, okay, the young players and youth, and some really positive breakout stories like Coleman and Sharon Govich. But then you've got all this hanging over the team and what it's going to mean for their future. It's going to be a fascinating next, 6 weeks or so until the trade deadline.
Bring on the drama. All right, Pat, it is the question of the night. I got to throw it at you before we let you go. What is your favorite Battle of Alberta moment of all time?
Oh, well, you know what? It's got to be, what would that be, 3-4 years ago now? January 2020, Tkachuk, Cassian, the War of Words.
Yes.
After the game. We had Rasmus. I was interviewing Rasmus Anderson post game, and he talked about how Draisaitl wasn't visible that night, and how much of a cheap shot or a cheap reaction that was for Zach Cassian. Then you had Cassian chirping Tkachuk, and Tkachuk gave you the "stay off the tracks" quote. That was awesome, because you know what? That was the first time since I think you and I have been covering these two teams where you've been like, the battle's back, right?
Yes.
You're like, these two teams are good again. They're not complete also rans. And then you also have the fireworks. So that would be my favorite BOA moment.
Buddy, there's so many people on both sides of the ledger that are like, hell yeah. Pat, great to have you on. We're going to do this more and more. You know it, my friend. And have a fantastic show tonight and a great weekend.
You're the man, Tommy. It's good to talk to you, buddy.
Always. There he is, Pat Steinberg, a fantastic human being, great broadcaster, and just a good friend, too. Good friend.
Absolute beauty. When I was in college, I listened to 960 The Fan almost every night. I'm not even joking. I like to hear what Flames fans have to say. And that's kind of when the Flames, were really, really buzzing with the Tkachuk, Gaudreau, and Lindholm line. So, yeah, I've always liked his insight. He knows what he's talking about, and a really good guy to have on the show.
Yep. That's the beauty of being an independent station. There's some perks. I went on his show in the summer, and I think he brought up the network that shall not be named like 4 times, and I was like, yes, we don't have to. Let's move on. So I like that. That was his line that I used tonight for those that didn't catch me on there way back in July or August or whatever the heck it was. But it's so good to have Pat Steinberg on the pregame show. And we're able to sneak it in, too, because he's only doing an hour tonight. So it's like, let's do it. That's a great guest. Patty, love him. Love them. And I think a lot of people would be like, damn, yeah, that was a good moment. And that's one of the few moments that probably a lot of Oilers and Flame fans agree on. It's like that small window right before COVID where the hate was on. Both teams were good. You had these epic brawls and great high-scoring games and all this craziness happening. Oh, that was good.
Yeah, take me back. I was actually at that game. And,
you were at that one at the Saddledome?
Yeah, I remember it very well. I don't know. I was a few beers in, but it was a lot of fun. Like, the energy inside the building was insane. And you have Oilers. And, like, I think, there's a lot that the Oilers and Flames fans can disagree on. But one thing that they can agree on, the rivalry is definitely at its best when both teams are, like, top end, they're just crushing it. And that was what was so exciting. There was so much to look forward to. And not saying that that's not the case tonight, because there is, both teams are still, in the chase for the playoff spot, which has a lot to do with it. But just what an exciting time that was. And just so many headlines, the Tkachuk, Cassian, it was just, I'm getting goosebumps right now thinking about it, Tommy.
I just feel good. I really do have a legit energy going into tonight, and I think it's palpable. I think people can feel it for sure. Nutsy Dielson in the nasty chat says Smith and Talbot was legendary. Another one for me was playoffs when Kane scored 3. He came back for an interview, and 2 Flames fans down low were pouting and consoling themselves, saying he so broke. Duck Dad says, great take, Trev, when you popped on earlier. The best pre- and post-game combo in the city. Thank you, Duck Dad.
Let's go, Duck Dad. Yeah, I agree. Dad. I agree with you.
Duck Dad also says, Patty Steinberg, honorary nasty. Respect. All right. If you're just joining us, question of the night is, what is your favorite moment from the Battle of Alberta all time? 780-218-9999. Nasty chat going strong. Today, lots of good vibes going into this one. Safety Bob. Oh, where did it go? There it is. Safety Bob says, Dave Brown absolutely destroying Kite 1991. Safety Bob. That fight is epic. Dave Brown was a menace, just a giant human being. He was scouting. I think he's still a scout. Sometimes you'd see him in the press box. He does not look big and mean, but then you go back and you watch those fights from back in the day and you're like, oh my God. Scary. Good memory, Safety Bob. I like that one. Dave Brown. And was it Jim Kite? Yeah, Jim Kite. Good. Didn't they call it like Good Night Jim Kite?
I was going to say, is that where that saying come from?
It might very well be.
Good night, Jim Kite.
That
Yeah,
makes
because
a lot of sense.
That's what I didn't know, that there was a player named Jim Kite. So yeah, that's cool.
The Wolf with a picture via the inbox, 780-218-9999, wearing his Oilers reverse retro from last year. Very nice. The Wolf says, in Calgary, in a house full of Flames fans, and I got all the Calgarians to drink a 6 o'clocker lager, then proceeded to tell them the beer was brought to you by Edmonton Sports Talk and oil enthusiasts. The Wolf.
Like where your head's at.
I like this. Oh, well played, The Wolf. Bravo, my friend. Bravo. Well played. I have to give him a ton of props for it. You had a 6 o'clocker earlier.
I might be sipping on one right now. A little sippy sip.
In stock. It has been restocked by Alley Cat, so you can get it at Sobeys and Safeway liquor stores, and be sure to do that. You know what? It's damn good beer. We like the hype, but now let's keep this thing going. I actually need to go pick up a bunch. I brought some to the Oil Kings last week. I said, let me know what you think. They sent me back a photo from the laundry room that the Oil Kings and the Oilers share. Some 6 o'clockers all over the folding tables and stuff. And the reviews came in very, very good. So if the Oilers and Oil Kings trainers like them, you know it's good beer. All right, we are going to get to Jason Strudwick in a little bit. We are going to go inside the Oilers locker room right away, as well as go around the National Hockey League. 12 games on the schedule. It is Hockey Day in Canada. I was texting and then talking to someone on the phone, a friend from the U.S. today, and she goes, isn't like every Saturday Hockey Day in Canada? And I was like, yes, but no. She's like, explain this to me. And she covered the Avalanche for a bunch of years and knows hockey well. And I'm like, well, it's kind of a thing.
Yeah, this one's a little different,
Yeah.
but I guess it would be hard to explain to
She didn't get
to
it.
an American. Yeah,
She didn't get it, but she just assumed every Saturday was a hockey day in Canada. I'm like, well, you make a good point.
yeah.
It kind of is.
It's same but different, and still same.
So, like, I was like, it's a triple header today. All 7 Canadian teams are playing, but then I'm like, most nights or Saturdays are double headers in Canada, but sometimes there's triple headers, or sometimes there's a noon game split up with like a short window, and then they get to the 5 and the 8 o'clock game. She goes, so I'm right. Every Saturday is hockey day in Canada. I'm like, yeah, but it's hockey night. And I'm like, you know what? You're right. You're right. So she's right. She's a sharp cookie for sure. I also want to add, too, if you're looking for a spot to check out the Super Bowl, come hang out with us at the Century Casino Sports Bar and Lounge on Sunday, February 12th. Join the entire Edmonton Sports Talk crew for the Super Bowl. You'll have a chance to win EST merch, a spot on the Hangout. That's a good one. We've had some great guests that are listeners and viewers that have come on. Cash was awesome. Mick from Beaumont was great. Jasmine.
Yeah, we had Jasmine last. She was unreal. Yeah.
Dash is a friend of EST. He's
He's a friend of EST.
EST,
Yeah, but no, everyone who's come on has just done so good. So it's nice to see, and we like it. It's a lot of fun. It's new conversation.
Yeah. So a spot on the line to join us for a hangout. I promise I'll show up. I'll be early. And then more. Also, our 6 o'clocker lager will be in stock and available for the big game only at Century Casino on Fort Road. So come join us. We want to have a big bash there to end the NFL season. Man, LTE was there every Thursday. He was there Monday and Thursday nights, grinding away, putting up great videos from the Century Casino Sports Bar and Lounge. And there was like a good, they had backgammon games with Fergie's prostate going. Trev, Savage the plumber, Trev is his first name, was always there.
It's really cool. Like
Troy.
he's got Troy was there. Teef goes there.
Wheels himself. Yeah.
Yeah. No. So it's a really good crew, and it only continued to grow through. And people the more we talked about it, the more we talked about backgammon, and everyone's like, oh, I kind of want to go there. So it's nice, and that's the coolest thing about this. It's we're starting a community, and we couldn't do it without you guys, right. And it's so cool. We go to these, and everyone says, oh, hey, I'm VR Montenegro. Hey. I'm Box Pounder, and it's so cool.
Andrea and Jocelyn.
Exactly.
Twitter Mary was there.
Yep. So it's really cool. We're expecting a big crowd, and we can't wait. We're gonna have a lot of fun that night. And rumor has it, you guys we might be staying the night at the casino.
Oh my God.
And we might be doing the show in the morning, like the Nielsen show and all the shows at the casino because that's what Dusty was saying. So time will tell.
It'll be in the minutes. In our next meeting, I'm sure. And the 6 o'clocker lager will be flowing. So join us at the Century Casino Sports Bar and Lounge Sunday, February 12th for the Super Bowl. All kinds of great giveaways and a spot on the Hangout. So please, 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 if you haven't made plans, you're looking for something to do, bring some friends. It's going to be awesome for sure. All right, 780-218-9999. What is your favorite Battle of Alberta moment of all time? We want to hear from you. Big Dave he says, my favorite BOA moment might be the Talbot versus Smith goalie fight, considering the era it happened in. I'd be shocked if we ever see another goalie fight like that. That's from Big Dave. Tommy Rabella getting in there says, the first BOA moment I remember is my least favorite, Fleury scoring and sliding down the ice. That was the 1990 series, right?
I'm not too sure.
The Oilers ended up winning that. That was the Esa Tikkanen game 7 overtime.
It was a little bit before me.
Yeah,
I do remember the obviously it still lives rent free. I wasn't even born then, and I don't like it. The good old Selly there.
Yeah. 780-218-9999. Okay. Let's take a look around the National Hockey League, and then we're going to get to Struddy, who's filling in on Game Changers tonight. We'll get to more of your texts as we proceed throughout the evening, getting set for the second Battle of Alberta this season. Oh, yeah, we need to go inside the Oilers locker room as well. You're giving me that look. I know. I could feel it. We'll go inside the locker room first, then we'll get to Struddy. Scores around the National Hockey League. 11 games on this hockey day in Canada. Minor Hockey Week wrapping up this weekend as well. A huge congratulations to all the kids playing this weekend and all week long, or the past, 9-10 days. And a big thank you to the volunteers, refs, coaches, everybody who makes this happen. 60th year of Minor Hockey Week in Edmonton. So cool. Remember growing up playing in it. Awesome, awesome, awesome. Keep it going. Good stuff. All right, Tampa defeats Buffalo 3-1. 7-4. The Avalanche get the better of the Flyers earlier today. The Arizona Coyotes with the 3-2 win over the Nashville Predators at Moulet Arena. That one we're keeping an eye on, and we're talking about on Hello Hockey because it does have wild card implications. The Oilers having just passed both of those teams recently. Winnipeg 2-1 winners in overtime over Ottawa. That one in our nation's capital, or just outside in Canada. 5-4, the Bruins lead the Habs in Boston. That one after 2. 4-0 Dallas up on New Jersey after 2 as well. The Canucks lead the Maple Leafs 4-3 early in the third period. You've got St. Louis up 1-0 on Washington. That one in St. Louis after 1. Later on tonight, of course, Oilers and Flames at the Saddle Dome. San Jose welcomes Anaheim. You've got the Golden Knights with the Penguins at the Fortress, as they like to call it, in Sin City. And then the LA Kings wrap up the night hosting the New York Rangers. 780-218-9999. Mike in Thunder Bay says, Tommy, I thoroughly enjoyed Cassian beating the snot out of the turtle Kachuk. That brought the fan base together like few things have. Mike in Thunder Bay. Chris Sadoway says, Eberle, first career goal, no looking, Horkov. That was funny.
I remember the bit that they made.
Well, and that was Rashog that did it, and some people didn't understand that it was completely sarcastic.
Well, I was 12 at the time, so the first time I seen it, I'm like, this isn't good. This isn't good.
So you
yeah, I was one of those people. I'm like, this is terrible. Yeah. But then the last little bit, it was Ebbs, and he was he kind of laughed like the last 5 seconds of the clip. Yes. So then I was like, oh, okay, I get it now.
Yes, that's good stuff. I remember that, and I remember Rashog doing damage control because he's like, man, people didn't catch that it was a joke.
Yeah,
they're being sarcastic. And Rashog, he's not he has a sense of humor. But he also has the straight and narrow type of personality persona. And I think people couldn't differentiate. And he's like, well, I was having fun. I was having fun with it. Couldn't they tell? I was like, yeah, most people could. Some right over their heads.
That was so good. I think it was Chris Vandermeer who got the assist on that goal. Jim Vandermeer. Yeah, that's right. And he was, I got the assist. Ebbs doesn't even come say thank you to me. Like what? Who's this rookie? And I'm like, yeah. And then they bought into it. So that was good. You like to see that.
It was well done. One of the few bright spots that season. It was not a great year. My first with Oilers TV. I was like, wow, this is crazy. All right, let's go inside the Oilers locker room. Let's go to head coach Kris Knoblauch first. Here he is.
Is in the lineup tonight. What elements of his game do you need to see for him to have an effective night?
We want him to play his game. Obviously, he's playing a different position than he's played in the NHL, and went down to Bakersfield and did a really good job there and auditioned for this position. And we just want to play smart, reliable hockey. With his physical and his talent, he'll be able to make plays and push the pace. He will play physical and obviously give us that element. We're always looking to get faster and stronger, harder to play against. I think he'll give us that element that we're always looking for. And whether it's midpoint of the season, but definitely as the season wears on, hitting the end of the regular season, definitely in the playoffs, you need more of that. And we're hoping that he can provide that.
From an organizational standpoint, how do you make sure that the transition from wing to center for Dylan Holloway is as smooth as it can be? And what's kind of the communication messaging throughout the organization from Bakersfield to Edmonton?
With our systems, it doesn't matter if you're a centerman or a winger. You always have the same responsibilities. Whether in the defensive zone, centerman's usually the first guy in there and has those responsibilities of playing low and defending differently than the wingers do. But with our system, that's interchangeable. The first person in the zone is usually take over those responsibilities. In certain situations with what the other team's doing, we have switches where the centerman is low at first and then he moves out there. So it doesn't matter what position you're on the roster as, it changes from shift to shift and during that shift. So we expect everyone to know those. It just happens if you are a centerman, you take more face-offs, and you're in those situations maybe a little bit more as a centerman playing low, but otherwise it's the same.
Can we expect the same lineup with Hamlin being replaced by Holloway?
That is the one change.
Kris, you mentioned face-offs, and a lot of people focus on the expected goals for, goals against, penalty killing numbers, but the team face-off percentage has increased considerably since you took over. Is there something that's happening that's allowing you to win more of those 50-50 draws? Because it certainly plays an important factor, specifically in penalty killing.
I don't know what the result is. I don't know what the face-off percentages were. I know that Leon Draisaitl's winning a lot of face-offs lately. Last night, I think he was 14-1, and the night before that, I think he was 14-2 or something like that. So he's definitely has a big role in key face-offs. And the fact that he's pretty good at it, that'll definitely help our team stats. Another one is Derek Ryan, taking a lot of right face-offs on the right side. We don't have many right-handed face-off guys that can do it, and he might be the only guy that's not a left-handed shot. So we rely on him there a little bit more. And I don't know. I'm not sure if it's just guys digging in the face-offs, what it is, but it's not usually just centermen losing draws. It's the wingers not jumping in there and getting those 50-50 pucks. So I definitely like our centermen, the way they've been digging in and trying to come up with every puck, every face-off. But, a lot of credit has to be given to the wingers too, because they've been helping out.
As a coach, as a coach, does a 12 or 13 game winning streak even get mentioned in your dressing room tonight?
I don't think we've mentioned a winning streak at all. We've certainly not talked about a number or anything like that. Tonight's just another game, obviously. Rival, somebody that, I haven't experienced this, but I'm excited about it for tonight, and I'm sure our players are too. And but as for the streak, everybody knows about it, but we don't talk about it.
I want to ask you that. This is your first Edmonton-Calgary game behind the bench here Saturday night. You've seen a lot of these on TV. What are you thinking heading into your first one?
I don't think I can get prepared for it. I think it's something that when you get behind the bench and you hear the crowd and you hear the banter between the players on the ice, that's when you really have a full appreciation of what goes on during these rivalries. But right now I'm getting our team ready, preparing it like any other game, and this is what Calgary does, and these are their strong points, and how are we going to adjust our game to what they're doing. That's my take right now, but as I said before, I'll get appreciation of what this rivalry means when before that first puck drop.
Last one for me. Best rivalry in your hockey career. Biggest rivalry you've been involved in.
Well, I'd spent so much time coaching in the American League and with Hartford, and just with the during the COVID season with Providence and ourselves playing each other. We only had 24 games, and we played them eight of those 24 games. So, and then that carrying over to the next season. I don't know. Maybe for me, maybe that was part of it. I don't know. I don't think I have a situation that's a rivalry like the Oilers and the Flames have.
Growing up in Western Canada, do you have any memories of those 80s battles of Alberta, or what jumps out at you from growing up as a kid watching these teams and getting a little older, Kris?
I remember the rivalry, the playoff series, and the hits, and the Mark Messier elbow on I believe it was Jamie McCowan. I remember that, but I was cheering for a team when I was a kid. I was cheering for a team out east, so obviously I was watching these games, but probably spending more attention to what was happening out there.
You won the Max here?
I won the Max a long time ago, yeah.
who were your teammates that maybe advanced off that squad?
Probably in the NHL, probably the only one who had some NHL time was Graham Belak.
Okay,
Yeah.
tough guy.
Very tough guy. Yeah, we had a big team. I think for midget hockey, we had 2 players under 6 feet, and one of them was our backup goalie.
And Graham followed you to the Edmonton Ice as well.
Yes, and university. Yeah.
All right, it's the Oilers and the Flames, second meeting of the season between these two teams. Of course, the first one coming October 29th, the Heritage Classic, the Oilers winners in that one. And it's been an interesting path for both teams to this game tonight. And to break it all down in Game Changers, we're bringing in the big man, Jason Strudwick, filling in for Matty Cassian. Of course, Game Changers brought to you, as always, by Damon Bunting, RE/MAX Elite. Damon Bunting is a consistent top-producing realtor in Greater Edmonton and among RE/MAX realtors. He and his team would love to help you find that right home or make the move from your current home. Community-driven. He understands what it takes to make a difference in our city. Check him out, DamonBunting.com, or visit his Instagram at DamonBuntingRealEstate. There he is, Jason Strudwick. Great to have him on. Thank you for coming on the post-game show when we were at the Bonspiel, where my team, the Sheet Disturbers, won, not thanks to me, but they were such a good team. Great opponents, just not good enough, I guess, Struddy. And then the other thing is, like, not only are you a formidable curler, all of a sudden I'm seeing that you're a knitter. Where is this coming from? I mean, you're a man of so many talents, but my goodness.
Maybe that's the problem. I haven't found one I'm really good at. So I keep trying to find something. So I'm working on it. And thanks for having me on. I know that there's about 14 other people that rejected you, including your own mom.
Yes.
So here I am, the 15th favorite person in line. It's like the line for the throne of England. I was closer to the front of that line than I am to your choice to talk. But here I am, and I'm prepared. I have never been this prepared for an interview.
Dreams do come true, Struds. So here we are. All right, let's get into it. First of all, before we get into the meat of Game Changers, I just have a good energy about tonight for whatever reason, Struddy. You feel that too? It just seems like this is good forces colliding at the Saddle Dome tonight.
Well, it's a Battle of Alberta, and it's huge. This is always fun, but you can imagine how excited the Flames are to cut the legs out from underneath the hot Oilers.
Good point.
They want to be the team, just like the Leafs wanted to be the team. And I'm not suggesting other teams don't want to, but when it's your in-province rivals or in country such as Toronto, it'd be such a nice thing to be able to say, we were the team. We stopped the streak. Because if the Oilers win tonight, now you're rolling up to, what is that, 13 or 14?
Yeah.
13. And then they're getting closer. Then you look at their next few teams are not formidable opponents. So, you're just another kind of notch in the belt, if you will. So I think that the Flames, I really expect them out and really want to play hard to be the team that shuts this streak down.
Yeah. Chicago and Columbus, and then Nashville next week at home for the Oilers. But this one, like you said, Struddy, this is a big one. So having said that, let's get to Game Changers. Number one, you're looking for a strong start.
Well, Kris Knoblauch spoke about the other day, and we've seen it. The Oilers have been getting scored on quite a bit on this streak. Now, it's not the end of the world. It doesn't mean you can't win the game, obviously, as Oilers have come back. But, you're looking at a Saturday night in Calgary. You want to be ready and to even if you get through the first period 0-0, just don't give the other team that hope, that feeling that, okay, we're now above them and we're playing better. And, and Kris Knoblauch said it. Yes, I think it was yesterday. You can only play with fire for so long. Eventually, it doesn't work anymore. So I would expect the Oilers to come out with a really strong start, trying to get the first goal tonight.
Struddy, in that building, you've played in the Battle of Alberta from an Oilers point of view. How tough is it on a Saturday night when things are juiced up like they should be tonight?
Oh, people are going to be fired up. The Flames fans, and there will be some other fans in there, but there's going to be a lot of red. The sea of red will be rocking. The drinks will be flowing as well. Mm-hmm. And then the fans also want to be able to call to their friends up north, in northern Alberta, and say, we stopped you. We stopped the run. So they're going to be energized walking into the building. For the Oilers, they'll be behind enemy lines, and those fans will be rocking because they want to see their Flames shut down the Oilers to have those bragging rights.
Yeah, I loved those games in Calgary on a Saturday night. They're fun for whatever reason. As bad as that building is, as weird as that city is, It's always a good time on a Saturday. All right, Struddy. Number 1 was strong start. Number 2 on Game Changers tonight, the Dylan Holloway experiment. This one's interesting.
Here's Dylan Holloway again called up. James Hamblin goes down, and as a footnote, James Hamblin, I thought he did a really, good job, solid job playing on that role. Brought energy, wasn't massively at wrong, and many goals against they scored on and brought a lot of energy. So I hope that they sent him off with some good wishes down to the minors. But Dylan Holloway's bigger. He's probably faster. He's more physical, more top end speed and skill. So I think that they want to upgrade, and I think that no disrespect to James Hamlin, but I think that Dylan Holloway is a potential upgrade, especially when you're looking at the center position for the Edmonton Oilers. So now he starts his journey as a center, has played journey all through his time, junior and minor hockey, then, through the junior and college, hasn't played a lot of center since he joined the pro ranks. And this is my concern, is that, he hasn't established himself as an everyday NHLer. And it's important to be able to do that. And now you're asking him to take on something else when he still hasn't. We can't say this guy's an everyday NHLer. I think he is going to be. And I think, he can become that. And they need him. Let's be clear. They need this player to become an everyday NHLer between now and the end of the season because of all the things I mentioned he brings to this team. Because if he doesn't, they might need to find someone else to fill that spot in trades. But he is a huge part of what could become a really strong team in the bottom 6, because the bottom 6 needs another bigger, faster body like he brings. So wish him luck at center. And Oilers fans, pray.
Fair enough. When it comes to a guy like that, Struds, and I kind of piqued my eye, and I know some people were asking and talking about the potential of him playing center, but how about him just getting back into the NHL rhythm, because I know he's been down in Bakersfield for the last few weeks. That's great, but it seemed like he was starting to find it right before he got hurt. Remember, he had that great game in Seattle. They come home. They have that game against the Islanders. He goes into the boards, gets injured, out for 10 weeks. How tough, as a young guy trying to become a consistent NHLer, is it to get back to that level of play that he was at when he got hurt?
It's really hard. And because you have nothing to fall back on. You can't say, well, I've played, 200 games in a row, and now I'm hurt. He doesn't quite have that ebb and flow of how to come back from injuries, and quite honestly, how to be a productive NHL player every night. I think he will be. And so that's a big key as well. He needs to get ice time. Tonight for him to play 5 minutes is counterproductive to what they're trying to do. They need to get him ice time. And Kris Knoblauch talks a lot about looking at the score sheet, how to get extra ice time. So I'd like to see him even moonlight, maybe 1 or 2 shifts up on one of the top 2 lines, squeeze him in there, get him playing, get him skating, and get him his game going like they did McLeod, like they have Fogle, and now how they're doing with Kane. So they desperately need, not desperately, but they need this guy to be able to contribute somewhere in the lineup. And he, I think, I can't wait to see what he does, but these injuries have been really unfortunate, both this year and last year.
Yeah, Struddy, if a guy like Holloway can find his game and help solidify that bottom 6, I think a lot of people, Oilers fans, the management team, us as media, would be like, okay, that bottom 6 looks a lot better if it has a productive Dylan Holloway. We'll see how he does at center. It is Game Changers, brought to you as always by Damon Bunting, Remax Elite, Tom Gazzola, and Jason Strudwick with you. Struddy filling in for Cass. Always appreciate Struddy's time. Number 1, strong start. Number 2, the Dylan Holloway experiment. Number 3, Struddy, this one, man, you're looking at the stats sheet and you're going, that's it? That's all this guy's got? Jonathan Huberdeau.
Yeah, the big trade when they made for Tkachuk, I was going to say Keith, I keep saying that, but Matthew Tkachuk down the floor, and they got 2 players back. This was, maybe not this centerpiece. Both are pretty good players, but this is a really big, important player, and it just has not worked out. But we're starting to see some signs of life. In the last 5 games, he has 7 points, including 2 games with 2 assists. Last game, I think it was the most ice time he's had all year. I looked at it quickly, almost 22 minutes. That was against the Leafs, so a pretty big game for him, playing on the top line. So they need this guy to get going and produce. So it's something for the Oilers to watch. And honestly, I don't like to see players suffer. I don't like to see players, and I know his bank account looked nice, but he's got a lot of hockey ahead of him. And if he can't produce it where he needs to or what he wants to do, it's going to make it really hard for the Flames, but also for him personally. So, I'm not going to sit here and say I'm cheering for him, but I want him to do well. But I think for the Oilers, they got to keep an eye on him because he seems to be maybe finding some of his game under Ryan Huska, but it's taken a while, including some benchings, which you don't like to get benched when you're making, what is he at, eight and a half or more, man. 9 million, whatever it is.
Yeah, he's making big bank. Like right now, this Huberdeau contract does not look good. 25 points for Huberdeau, 6 goals, 19 assists. And someone pointed it out yesterday on the Oil Stream to contrast it. Warren Fogelstrud's 9 goals himself, 14 assists for 23 points. They're right there neck and neck with one another. So, yeah, Jonathan Huberdeau. I'm with you. Like, this is a guy that can be a game breaker, and you're going to have to watch out for him tonight if he's starting to come on. I can't leave you without asking you about one of your Battle of Alberta experiences, something that stood out to you when you played against the Calgary Flames as a guy playing for the Oilers. I have some in my mind that maybe you recall, but I'd just throw it to you first.
You know what? I just remember the energy in the building, both in Edmonton and in Calgary. But the thing that I drove down to Red Deer to do an event down here tonight for the Battle of Alberta. And the one thing I can't get out of my head is the first time, now this is before I was an Oiler, but it was true and probably still true now. When you walk in that the back of the building where the players from the visitor team walk in, it's like the garbage area.
Yeah.
But there are mountains of popcorn. Like I am talking about mountains of popcorn in massive bags. And I remember walking in there the very first time thinking, how much popcorn do Calgarians eat every night? Like just mountains. And then you walk out and it's all gone.
Yeah.
So I wonder if they're not the capital of the world for popcorn consumption during events. It is crazy amounts of popcorn. I'm not kidding. Like
I know, I was there with you.
It's I don't know how to describe it as tonnage or size, but it is literally a mountain of popcorn.
Yeah. You're not getting fresh popped stuff at the Saddle Dome.
No.
If you thought you were, wrong. Maybe that day it was popped, but not fresh indeed. I was going to throw this one at you, Struds, because you came to the Oilers in 07, 08, right?
Or 08, 09, maybe.
08, 09.
9, 10, 11, yeah.
Okay, I remember Curtis Joseph was a Flame at the tail end of his career, and it was very strange. Okay. I know he went back to Toronto for like a swan song as the backup.
Yeah.
And he was playing in the game against the Oilers, and I think it was JDD and him almost got into a fight. It was a pretty chippy game, and Cujo skated down to the end of to the Oilers' end from the Flames' end at the old building, and I think it was JDD he was going to throw down with, and I was like, I want to see it. I wanted to see it so bad, but it was so weird seeing Cujo in a Flames jersey. Maybe
it is odd.
Yeah, maybe you were on that team by then. I thought maybe you would have been, but
I think I missed that. Yeah. But I do remember Jordan Eberle's first year, and he scored that amazing goal.
Yes.
But if you remember, Steve McIntyre fought, was it Ivanez?
Yeah.
What's his name?
Right. Yeah, Ivanons, I think it was.
Yeah. It was like two grizzly bears fighting over hunting area or whatever.
Yeah.
And I was so scared. Now, I wasn't playing that game. I was healthy scratched. The team wasn't committed to winning, obviously. But when you look at that fight, I was scared for both guys. And there's very few fights I've been a part of or watched live that I was scared, but I was scared for that one. And also when McIntyre fought the Boogeyman in New York, and they fought twice, and I was on the ice, and all I wanted for them was to fall down and just stop the fight. Like I was so you have two powerful humans with, Steve McIntyre's an animal.
Yes.
And then, in the case of Ivan I don't think he really ever came back and really played.
That was it, Struds.
Yeah, it was a devastating punch and scary fight. Most fights just kind of get a little bit nicked up in your hands, get a little bit nicked up. But that fight, man, that was legendary Battle of Alberta fight time.
Yeah, absolutely. Good memory, and the commitment to winning, very true, as we could tell throughout that season, Struddy, with the Oilers. When they got you in there, you were great. Best glue guy in the league by far. And
Titus.
Yeah, lead singer of the Bubblegum Gang, my favorite band of the mid-2000s. Struddy, have a great event tonight. Thanks for the time today, and always appreciate it.
Yeah, enjoy the game, fans. I know I will.
There is Jason Strudwick in for Matty Cassian. That is Game Changers, brought to you, as always, by Damon Bunting Remax Elite. What we're going to do now is go into the Flames locker room, and we're going to hear from head coach Ryan Huska.
We didn't see Dylan out there today. Can you provide an update or what his status is?
Dylan's not feeling well today, so he won't be an option for us tonight.
And we saw Dennis out there. Is he an option for tonight?
He is an option for tonight, or will be an option for tonight, I should say, yeah.
We heard Adam's reaction to the news. What kind of energy were you getting on the other side of that conversation?
He was actually pretty quiet when I was chatting with him, but he had a lot more energy. I would say the first day he was up with us, even though he didn't play. So it's a thrill for him, and we're excited for him to have this chance to play tonight.
Markstrom backing up Vladar. How close is he to being ready again?
He's getting close. He's not going to back up for us tonight. Wolfie will. But this is kind of the next step for him, so he's right there.
Is there an update or a timeline on Martin Pospisil?
No official update or timeline. He won't be in the lineup for the next few games for sure, and then we'll see how he goes from there.
For you, as someone you've had a lot of guys make their debuts this year,
yeah.
Is it helpful that you have a lot of guys who've been through it that Adam can lean on? You've had, as a coach, an experience of being able to onboard these guys for a couple of days and get them ready for it? Because obviously you want to have a guy's first game to be as successful for him as it can be.
Yeah, and for us too, right? So I think it is a benefit having familiar faces around the room for those guys. So if there are questions or if they're unsure of what time a meeting is or how we're doing certain things, they are not uneasy in regards to having people to go up and ask. So it is a good thing for us. And then it also gives us a chance to get to know them a little bit more as well. And we can make sure that they're set and they're prepared for their first opportunity like Clapper will get tonight.
Ryan, what is a good game for Adam? Like, not necessarily tonight, but when Adam plays well, what strengths are there? What's a good game for him look like?
Yeah, I think for us, it's a bigger man that's going to move up and down his wing again. For his size, he skates really well. So it's going to be important that he's good with his stick and he's hard on the forecheck. And he's responsible for his minutes that he's on the ice. So, the one thing that he does have too is a sneaky skill set. I'm assuming tonight you won't see a lot of that because he'll keep his game very simple, which is something that is a good thing for a young guy getting his first taste. But it's more about being a harder guy to play against and using his size to his advantage.
We see Coronado second line power play. I know you started both Zary and Pospisil in sort of more prominent roles. What's your approach as a coach in terms of putting those call-ups in a position to kind of make an impact right away?
Well, based on certain skill sets, certain guys don't belong or don't really fit on a fourth line. So if you're going to get the most out of them and see if they're ready for the opportunity, they should be given an opportunity where we're going to see if they can handle the if you want to call it heavy lifting or the role responsibility that comes along with playing higher up in the lineup. So that's really what it's about. We did it with Andrew Mangiapane in the minors. His first year there is, can he play or not? And we stuck him with two of our most offensive players, and he kind of came into his own. And I think if he's put in a fourth line role where his ice time is limited, you may not see that. So this gives them an opportunity to see if they're ready with their skill sets to contribute. And it's a good thing for both the player and for us.
Say about your commitment to this youth movement that you're going to put in Klapka and Coronado on the same night in arguably the biggest stage you're going to have this year.
Yeah, I mean, listen, if Marty's not hurt, Marty's playing tonight. So it's kind of the way it goes sometimes when you lose someone due to an injury or an illness. Other guys have to step up. So yes, this is a game that's an exciting game, Hockey Day in Canada and all that stuff for two younger guys. Pretty cool. But take advantage of your opportunity because that door doesn't always open. So whether you're playing Edmonton tonight or it's March 3rd against someone else, take advantage of the opportunity.
What are you hoping to see from that tonight?
A lot this time. We wanted to have confidence with the puck. We wanted to make plays with the puck, and we want to make sure he's managing it the right way.
I know you all focus on yourselves, but when you have an opportunity to end another team's losing streak, does that factor into whether it's a motivational speech or approach or anything?
No, it's always been about us. We focus on our team and how we have to play in order to have success.
Are you doing a lot of standings watch? It seems like a lot of teams that are chasing that wild card spot as you guys are, they're starting to lose a lot of games, and even teams that are above you in the standings are starting to fall like a Vegas or an LA.
Yeah, you can't control the other teams though. All it goes back to it's about kind of how we play and how we prepare ourselves. Like if we don't win games, we don't put ourselves in that picture, if you will. So we have to make sure we're focused on doing the job ourselves and not looking to see who's hot and who's not right now.
The Oilers are a pretty different team compared to the Heritage Classic game. What are the biggest differences you've noticed are their player? Anything since the coaching change?
We're a different team too, so I can go at you that way as well. So we're expecting a really good game. There's a lot of energy, a lot of emotion all the time in these games, so we're excited for this one tonight.
Because it's a different game,
Yeah.
Edmonton, it's a Saturday night, there's a lot of juice in the building.
Mm-hmm.
Is that in any way a coaching opportunity? Is it something you can use to your advantage as opposed to Tuesday versus Arizona, or do you blow that stuff away?
No, well, I don't think it's Edmonton, Calgary, whether it's exhibition or not, there's always extra motivation, always extra juice. So the players know that. It's just making sure they're managing their day the right way and they're preparing to play when that puck drops.
So you don't need to bring that stuff up.
Typically not when it comes to this rivalry, no.
Was there a tipping point where this team started to play the way you'd envision? The last 15 in particular, I guess.
I don't know if there was a set time. Like, we had a tougher stretch at the beginning of the year, but there were some games within that stretch where we were playing some okay hockey. And I think whether it was, we talked a lot at that time about our leadership group doing a good job of making sure people were still staying on board with us. I think that was one thing early on that helped us. Michael Backlund, Chris Tanev, Blake Coleman, the other guys that were letters for us, I thought they were instrumental in helping pull us along. So coming through a losing stretch like we had at the beginning of the year and having a group of guys that stuck with it, I think was probably the start of us getting better as a team.
There you go. Ryan Huska, head coach of the Calgary Flames. His team winners of 7 of the last 10. Jonathan Huberdeau playing a little bit better, getting some points lately, and also throwing. I like how he threw that at. Well, I don't like that he threw it at Salim, but the way he also mentioned, hey, we're a different team from what we saw at the Heritage Classic a couple of months ago. So that is notable. We haven't seen this Flames team up against the Oilers since the Heritage Classic. That was a great night, but the Oilers would have their issues for the next couple of weeks. Dropped to 2-9-1. The Flames kind of a little bit better, but not great. And then of late, they've picked it up certainly in the last little while. So we're in for a doozy. And he mentioned the energy. I'm feeling the vibes. I feel like there's good juju in the air. YouTube, Trev, get your butt on there, man.
Okay, wait, one sec. Oh, wait.
There he is. Oh, there.
Hey.
There's good vibes. Like, I really, the text line has been good chatter on the nasty chat. Like, it's
great.
I think you and I in this studio, we're excited for this game. Struddy was excited.
Yeah, it's pumped. I mean, every time these two teams, match up, it's my blood gets it's flowing, right? Like, let's go. Like, I'm super excited, and he's absolutely right. Like, this is two different teams, and like I said earlier, right? The Battle of Alberta is way more enjoyable when these teams are doing good, right? Because that's the sense. That's the whole idea, right? It is a battle, and there's something to fight for. These are 2 big points, right? It's going to be and lots of bragging rights to all my friends and family back home. It's the best game to win, in my opinion, and the worst game to lose. So it's I'm pumped. I'm pumped, Tommy. I feel what you're feeling right now.
Bring it on. 780-218-9999 if you want to get in on the conversation. If you're watching on the EST YouTube channel, get into the nasty chat. A lot of people have been chiming in. I think a lot of people feeling it good. Enjoying a beverage. Like, what do you have there? Show everybody.
Our nice 6 o'clock lager.
Yes. Delicious.
Oh my gosh.
Back in stock, restocked by the fine folks over at Alley Cat. So if you're looking for something to wet your whistle while you watch the Battle of Alberta with, some 6 o'clock lager at Sobeys and Safeway liquor locations. All right, let's dip into the inbox and the nasty chat. Mark says, hey, boys, great pregame show as always. Thank you, Mark. Just crushed some dinner on White Ave, heading home for the game. Best Battle of Alberta moment in recent history, seeing McDavid score the series winner against the Flames in OT in round 2 of the playoffs. The emotion after the goal was amazing. Let's hope for more of those moments this postseason. LFG. Oilers from Mark. Vance Van Vandervan in the nasty chat, in the inbox, says, can you say hello to Tommy Rubella for me? Can't wait to see him back in town in February. Yes, Vance Van Vandervan. If you already haven't said hello to Tommy Rubella, Vance Van Vandervan says hello and is looking forward to seeing you in February, which is, 11 days away. That's friendship.
I do not know who he's talking about.
Tommy Rubella gets into the nasty chat in the text line.
Oh, okay, yeah. That's who you're talking about. I got you. Sorry.
How many of
Just
those have you had?
yeah. I'm cutting after this.
Kidding. Timber Woodsman says, Tommy, you catch any of the Canucks Leaves game? They played some song on the PA, followed by Leaves Suck by the whole crowd. Damn loud. Oilers need something like that. Timber Woodsman, the other night against the Leaves, the proper way to say it, the plural for leaf. When there was the "Let's Go Oilers" chant, and then Leafs fans would counter with the something's "Go Leafs Go." Oiler fans, after they ended "Let's Go Oilers," they said something about the Leafs sucking. I couldn't quite pick it up.
Classic.
But it was like trying to drown out the Leafs fans.
Yeah.
And it was good.
It was insane.
Loud. Yeah.
Yeah, that was fun to watch as well. I love that. Sign me up. I'm set for that. But as far as the Canucks fans go, I mean, I think they're right up there with probably some of the most as of late. Their fans are savage. Earlier in the season, when Jack Campbell was still the starter for the Oilers, that game. He was getting, soup chants or Campbell. I haven't heard that with any other team this year. So it's they're ruthless.
Oh, they are. They certainly are. Donnie M wants a quick 1-minute story on what happened in the AJHL today. Yes, Donnie M, we can fill you in really quickly. We talked about it quite a bit today on Hello Hockey as well. You can catch that on our YouTube channel. If you didn't, we had Trail Smoke Eaters head coach and GM Tim Fragel on to kind of give us an inside scoop. It was right before the announcement was going to be. Belzy came in and he's like, "Hey, there's going to be an announcement at noon. We can tease that." So we did. What is happening is Sherwood Park, Spruce Grove, Brooks, Blackfalds, and Okotoks will be leaving the AJHL for the BCHL next season, which is a not sanctioned league by Hockey Canada, so it's an independent league, rogue, if you will, and it's become a destination for a ton of players. There's no sanction as to many Canadian players, how many European, how many American players you can have, and as a result, the number of NCAA college commits out of the BCHL this year hit an all-time record, and the AJHL followed up with a response by canceling the games involving those teams that were reported today that were set to play tonight.
Good answer. I'm happy you took that one.
Yeah, so it's just an update. That is where it's at. There's also rumors circulating that the AJHL may suspend those 5 franchises for the rest of the year. But like Belzy and I were saying on Hello Hockey, how do you do that? You lose gate revenue for the 11 other franchises that are expecting those teams to come in and play you. Not only that, they're 5 of the best teams and most profitable teams in the AJHL. How do you do that to the kids on those teams looking to get scholarships or who might be on the cusp of a scholarship and a scout needs to go see them to make a definitive answer? How do you do that? How do you do that halfway through the season or just past halfway?
It's weird. I've never seen this. No one has really. This is a first, right? It's crazy to me. There's a lot of questions and not a lot of answers. Obviously, this is pretty news. This is breaking, right? This is just very timely. So it's kind of insane. I don't even know where to start. What? Yeah, I'm kind of lost in the whole situation. It's crazy.
AJ is on the hot seat right now.
Yeah,
they better adapt and survive. Otherwise, it could be trouble. Although Belzy thinks that there's a couple of teams that could go away, and that would be just fine. In the AJ says there's some troubled franchises that have been discussed. So he thinks that an 11-team AJHL could be okay as well. And I think back in the day, it was only like a 10 to 12-team league. It's only 16 right now. So interesting. We'll see what happens. But that is the 4.5-minute version, Donnie M. If you want more on it, Tim Fragel was great from the Trail Smoke Eaters. He kind of outlined why things are working so well in the BCHL this year. And he's a guy from Edmonton. And he was coaching Sherwood Park a few years ago, went to Trail, and hasn't looked back. So that's the Coles Notes version. Okay. Should we do some more audio? What do you think?
I say
we've got about 15 more minutes.
Yeah. Let's do it.
Okay, who do you want to go? You want Flames or Oilers next?
I mean, we haven't heard from this guy in a while, so I wouldn't mind hearing from him. Here is Dylan Holloway.
To an NHL lineup for the first time since November 13. Maybe just take us through the emotions and what the process looked like for you to get back here.
Yeah, I mean, it was definitely a long road. It was hard mentally at first, and then you just gotta grind away, try and find a way to get better, even though you're not playing. It's never fun. I feel like I've been suffering a few injuries here, and I'm gonna try and stay healthy now. But it's definitely good to be back and to play my first game in Calgary. We're hometown pretty much, so I got lots of friends and family coming, so I'm excited.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
When it comes to the injuries that you've been battling to start your NHL career, what's maybe one thing that you've learned most about yourself throughout that process?
I think that's a good question. I think just trying to stay positive mentally. Like, I know it's kind of cliche to stay positive, but it's really all you can do. Like, there's no sense in getting down and feeling sorry for yourself. You just got to get back up and try and get as healthy as possible, as quick as possible, and then on top of that, try and elevate your game too. So it's definitely a challenge, but it's something I've been learning a little bit through a couple of injuries, but just excited to get back, play hockey.
When it comes to your game, how does it change when you're playing on the left wing or at center like you are tonight?
Yeah, it's definitely a little different. I played center pretty much growing up, like all growing up, through college, through junior, so I've been comfortable at that position, and then my first couple of years pro, I've been playing wing, so I like center because you can kind of get more speed, get more puck touches, and a little bit more involved defensively. Wing's good too, don't get me wrong, but I'm really excited to play center tonight.
How do you embrace that responsibility? There's additional responsibility for you to come back and help your D-men. How much do you look forward to that challenge almost?
Yeah, 100%. Definitely looking forward to it. It's definitely not a role that I take lightly. I think I got to be dialed, and I will be dialed, so I'm definitely excited, and I think it's a great opportunity for myself.
Injuries are just bad luck, basically, and you've had lots of bad luck in your young career. How do you go ahead and say, okay, I don't want to get injured, but still play hard and, you know what I mean, not be careful?
Yeah. I mean, yeah, it's a good question. I think injuries are definitely part of it. I don't know, like you said, some of my injuries have been kind of just like freak like things that made me been out for a while, but I'm still going to play hard, still going to play my game. I think I play my best when I'm playing hard and being physical, so I'm just going to try and play my game and not think about it too much.
The run your group is on right now, 12 straight victories.
Yeah, it's pretty incredible. The boys are hot for sure, so I'm just going to try and not stay out of the way, but try and not impede anything that's going on because they're obviously doing something that's working right now.
How much is that streak talked about in the room, like in the practices you've been in?
I mean, I just got here this morning, so I mean, I think I don't know. I don't think guys are mentioning it too much. I think everybody's pretty dialed. It's kind of just one game at a time attitude. So I think if you start thinking about them too much, like in bunches, and you start overlooking games, and that's when you don't get the result you want. So I think we're just looking at a game at a time, and then then the streak just hopefully keeps on building.
How did you assess your 4 games in Bakersfield?
I thought I played well. I thought it was definitely good to get back on the sheet, get playing. Legs felt a little heavy first couple of games, but once I got in the groove of things, it felt pretty good. Felt like my legs were going, hands were going. And, it felt good playing center, too.
Organizationally, what's been the message to you, Dylan, to make sure that transition from wing to center is as smooth as possible?
Yeah, I've done a lot of talk with the coaches, done some video, stuff going over on the whiteboard, just making sure I'm good defensively, and then a lot of video, too. So when I played my couple games in Bakersfield, I'd have, probably 10 clips they'd show me about how to be in a better position, be low and slow, and you're coming through the middle as a centerman, that kind of thing. So they definitely helped me out quite a bit and made sure that I'm prepared for tonight.
All right, Dylan Holloway making his return to action. Hasn't played since, November? Yeah, it's been a while. 10 weeks he's been out. 1 goal in 14 games this season. Was playing his best right before he got hurt. Was a monster that night in Seattle before he got hurt against the New York Islanders. Holloway, 2 goals, 2 assists in 4 games down in Bakersfield in that conditioning stint. Not bad, YouTube, Trev.
Yeah, not bad at all. I can't wait to see him. And like you said, he was playing his best hockey right before he got injured. It finally looked like he was just starting to get the hang of things here in the NHL. And, of course, he gets injured. So I don't know what to expect. Obviously, you can't expect much from a player, but, baby steps, right? It's shift by shift. And I don't mind who he's playing with, Connor Brown and Sam Gagner.
Veterans.
Yeah, I like that. That's kind of what you want. I feel like he's going to learn a lot from Sam Gagner. Like, I like that a lot. So, who knows? There might be something there. I'm very looking forward to seeing what he has tonight.
Does he get Connor Brown going?
Maybe. Yeah, maybe. Maybe that's the answer.
All right, starting lineups tonight. If you didn't catch them earlier, McDavid between Nugent Hopkins and Hyman, Draisaitl with Kane and Fogle, McLeod between Janmark and Ryan, and the aforementioned Dylan Holloway with Sam Gagner and Connor Brown. On defense, Nurse with Ceci, Ekholm with Bouchard, Kulak with Desharnais out for the Oil, Adam Ernie and Phil Kemp. As for the Calgary Flames, we're expecting Elias Lindholm between Jonathan Huberdeau and Yegor Sharangovich. Nazem Kadri between the upstart Connor Zary and Matt Coronado. Michael Backlund centering Andrew Mangiapane and Blake Coleman. And then you've got Adam Ruzicka with AJ Greer on one wing. And Adam Klapka making his National Hockey League debut tonight. He got the solo lap. Our good friend Pat Steinberg, who was on the show about an hour ago, tweeted out the solo lap for Klapka, time-honored tradition for rookies. And really quickly, the Flames D, Mackenzie Weegar with Rasmus Anderson, Noah Hannafin with Chris Tanev, Jordan Osterley with Dennis Gilbert, no Markstrom, day-to-day lower body, no Pospisil, day-to-day upper body, starting goalies Skinner for the Oil, Vladar for the Flames. Adam Klapka making his NHL debut. Great stage to do it. The Battle of Alberta. Let's hear from the rookie.
What are some of the emotions you're going through right now?
Yeah, I mean it's amazing. It's probably couldn't be the better first game that you can play. So I'm really excited that I can play my first game against Edmonton.
I think you've had a little taste of it in Penticton, but
yeah, but I mean, this is a little bit different. Like it's gonna be probably again my best day in my life. So I'm gonna enjoy it, but obviously you play good hockey, so you wanna play your game too. So I'll be ready.
You're on quite a best day in your life roll right now.
Yeah, I mean, this is probably go over the day when I get called up, because you are here, you on the ice, so it's gonna be special.
Who do you have in the crowd, or are you gonna have any family or buddies here tonight?
Yeah, I mean, my mom and dad are here. My sister couldn't make it because she's at school, so just my mom and dad. But that's enough. I think I'm really happy that they can see me.
You went through a couple playoff series with the Wranglers last year. I know the Coachella series was a battle for you. You draw on those experiences in this kind of atmosphere?
Yeah, I mean, this is gonna be like twice more people here than was on the Wranglers playoff games. But I mean, yeah, I'm gonna try to play the same game. It's just play simple and be around the net and do my best.
Your parents made it here?
Yeah, they did.
They live in Prague still?
Sorry?
They live in Prague still?
Oh yeah, they live in Prague. They book the flight right away. They call up, like they risk it because you can see your son play once the first NHL game. So yeah, they took the plane right after I got called up, and they are here. So I appreciate it.
How did you find out you were going in tonight?
I mean, I came to the locker room and check the board, and after that the coach come to see me and told me that I'm in. So I just said thank you, and I'll be ready.
Do you get nervous right away, or what kind of?
Like obviously you're a little bit nervous, but you try not to be, right. But that's all the guys who play their first NHL a little bit nervous before, but as soon as the puck drop, they in their usual game and they try to play their best. So it's gonna be same with me.
What advice have your teammates given you on how to live in today and enjoying it?
They said congratulations and just enjoy the day and play your game, have fun. Just these three things they told me.
You're gonna be able to nap? You look pretty wound up.
I mean, I gonna try that. I don't know if it's gonna work, but I gonna lay to the bed and gonna try to sleep a little bit.
There's Adam Klapka making his NHL debut tonight against the Edmonton Oilers. Listen, a pretty good AHL player. Obviously, he's Czech. He's from Prague. Played with Laddie Schmid in Liberec a couple of years ago, 2021, 2022. And the last two seasons, or this season last with the Calgary Wranglers, 25 points, 13 goals, 12 assists last year in 60 games. Through 33 games this year, he has 10 goals, 11 assists. 6'8", 6'8" winger, 235 pounds. Not afraid to mix it up. He's got 42 penalty minutes this year, 80 last year. Sounds like a young Laddie Schmid. I text Laddie something about Adam Klapka. If he gets back to me before the end of the show, I'll mention it. But
crazy.
That guy's a giant.
And 2000 product, born in 2000. That's insane. I don't know why that number as well, but being 6'8" and as a forward too, right? Like that's you don't see that much often. Like I can't really think of a winger who's that tall in the NHL right now. I'm just trying to think, but yeah, I mean, good for him. He's worked his way up. Those are solid numbers, decent numbers, definitely to bring himself to elevate his the game and potentially be a decent player for the Flames. So he worked his way up and he deserves it. But yeah, not tonight.
World Country says not tonight, Adam Klapka.
Yeah,
good to see. It's always a huge accomplishment.
It's nice
to play your first NHL game, and I thought, hey, let's give a little bit of respect.
Gotta be kid.
To the
yeah,
kid. Yes,
absolutely.
All right, let's wind things down with a few texts. If you want to get us at the Nasty Chat, by all means, I've got the text line. I've kind of put them off a little bit. We have had a lot of content tonight. It has been a really good show for a pregame for sure. This one comes in and says, I love seeing YouTube Trev on cam. I'm betting on a win for the Oilers. You've got a lot of people that
Someone
are
said
happy
that?
to
Really?
see you on camera. You've got just people who appreciate you.
Yeah.
Like dudes that are like, that guy, I like his vibe. And then you've got girls chasing after you.
maybe, but that's really nice. I like hearing that. I know I have some friends watching, here in Edmonton, and some friends and family back home watching. So that's pretty cool. That makes me that made my night, Tommy. Thanks for sharing
excited.
that. Yeah,
I love it. And then we get this one from Brandon from Windsor says, "Can I get a shout out for my wife?" First time listener. Yes. Shout out to your wife, Laura. Brandon from Windsor. Thank you for joining the Nasties. It's a good community.
I love it.
Yeah, absolutely. Another text comes in. Oh man, we're getting a lot of appreciation tonight. That's cool. Thank you. I'll read them. It's nice to get the pat on the back for sure. This one says, I have to say I love this channel. So glad I found it. You guys are awesome. Keep up the awesome work. That's Matt from Okotoks. Matt from Okotoks. Thank you for finding our channel, and we appreciate that so very, very much. We're lucky we get to do this, and we have a great team. Like today, Cass couldn't go. Belzy has his daughter Evie's second birthday. He couldn't make it, and Gager's also taking care of his daughter as well. So we had Ben Scrivens, who's almost ready to go if Struddy wasn't, and we could tap Struddy on the shoulder and be like, Struds, can you do it? Absolutely. And Ben was on he was ready to go. He was getting his mask on, getting the pad, grabbing the stick from Jeff Lang. He was going to hop on the pregame and postgame show tonight. But I said, Ben, Struddy's good, but we'll get you next time. Ben, great ad as well. So we're so fortunate to be able to do this, and the numbers are great. The listenership is awesome on TuneIn, on our audio stream, the viewership on YouTube. Let's keep this bad boy going. We want to bring you the best content. So thank you to everyone who's tuned in, and let's keep this party rocking, because I think we're in for a good game tonight. Great energy. Big thank you to Patty Steinberg from Sportsnet 960 down in Calgary for hopping on, and to Struddy for filling in for Cass, and to everyone who listened and watched. YouTube Trev, any final words?
Yeah, I'm pumped. This is going to be awesome. These are the games that I look forward to, and expect a big game. Connor's line wasn't crazy last game, right? Leon's line definitely had to elevate their play, so I expect big things. I know I marked this game on my calendar. You bet your blank. Connor McDavid definitely does, because he's scored on more. He scored on the Flames more than any other team in the NHL. For him, so it's insane. Expect big things from McDavid. I know he's just all the boys. It's going to be heavy hitting. It's going to be some good old time hockey, and I'm here for it. So are the Nasties, and let's get to puck drop, Tommy. I can't wait. Thanks to everyone who listened and liked and subscribed. We appreciate it. So let's go. Yeah, I'm pumped. That's all I got.
I love it.
Let's go.
I am getting called out by Northside Sandwich, and if it's the Northside Sandwich, I'm thinking about relax, amici, okay? Says, Tommy, I asked on the Oil Stream Friday about Holloway. You said a few weeks. You're slipping. I said a week or two, and I'm not going to lie to you. I wasn't paying attention to Holloway. I think there's bigger things that have been going on with the team. My bad, Paisan. It's all good. Here he is, and he's playing center. No, I wasn't on top of it, so there you go. I'll call myself out. Nobody's perfect, okay? Vance Van Vandervan gets the last word, says, See you nasties in 6 or 7 beers. Cheers. That'll do it for the pregame show. We'll catch you on the postgame. Enjoy the Battle of Alberta. Ciao for now.